He thought he could build a legacy without you, but the foundation was never as strong as he wanted everyone to believe. From the outside, everything still looks carefully constructed. The polished image, the confident decision, the people surrounding him, the stories he tells about how he has come. He wants the world to believe that his rise was inevitable, that every achievement belonged entirely to his vision, his courage, his sacrifices. But behind that performance, something is beginning to crack, and you can feel it before anyone else does, because you remember what existed before the performance. You remember the version of him who was uncertain, overwhelmed, and quietly searching for direction. You remember the moments when his confidence disappeared the second nobody was watching. The plans that never moved until your presence gave them structure. You remember the nights when he questioned whether he was capable of becoming the person he kept pretending to be. He will never tell people how much your presence changed the trajectory of his life. That is part of the false pretense. He has rewritten the story so many times that he almost believes his own version, which is the false version. In his version, he was always destined for greatness. He was always strategist, always the visionary, the one carrying everything forward. Your role was reduced to a footnote because acknowledging your importance would force him to confront something his pride cannot tolerate. He needed you more than he wanted to admit. And now the legacy he is trying to build without you is beginning to reveal the missing piece. At first, he thought distance would make the story easier. He believed that if he removed your influence, removed your name, your presence, and your perspective, he could finally prove that everything belonged to him. He surrounded himself with people who applauded the version of reality he wanted to present. He repeated the same explanations until nobody questioned them anymore. He created an image so polished that even he began mistaking appearance for performance. But legacies are not built on appearances, they are built on truth. And truth has a way of surviving every performance. The cracks may begin quietly. A decision that should have worked suddenly fails. Someone he trusted starts questioning him. A person who once praised him notices inconsistencies, and an old story no longer matches the facts. A project that looked impressive from a distance begins losing momentum behind closed doors. None of these moments seem connected at first, but they are. They are the consequences of building something while pretending that the foundation never existed. And somewhere deep inside, he knows exactly what is missing. That missing thing is you. Not because you were responsible for everything or that he could not succeed without you, but because you represented something he cannot manufacture through appearances. Perspective. You saw through him when he was performing confidence. You challenged the decisions everyone else was too afraid to question. You noticed patterns before they became problems, and you knew when ambition was turning into desperation, when pride was disguising fear. Without you, he has surrounded himself with people who tell him what he wants to hear. That feels powerful at first until reality arrives. And reality is arriving now. He may become more defensive. He may insist that everything is fine, speak louder, move faster, announce bigger plans, and make grander promises. Watch closely, because sometimes the loudest display of certainty is the sound a collapsing structure makes before it falls. He does not want anyone to see the panic beneath it, especially you, because your absence has become a mirror. Every achievement feels different now because he knows the person who would have understood what it truly cost is no longer standing beside him. Every milestone carries a strange emptiness. Every celebration has an unspoken question hiding underneath it. He hates that question. He hates it because he cannot answer it without remembering everything he deliberately erased. Perhaps the most unsettling part is that you are no longer trying to reclaim your place. You are not chasing him. You are not even demanding recognition. You are not standing outside his carefully constructed world asking to be acknowledged. You have moved differently. You have become quieter, stronger, more difficult to manipulate. And that silence is terrifying because it gives him nothing to fight against. He cannot defeat someone who refuses to enter the competition. He cannot control someone who no longer needs his validation. That is why his legacy feels unstable. The problem was never that you were absent. The problem is that he built the entire structure while lying about why it existed in the first place. He wanted admiration, but he disguised it as destiny. He wanted control, but called it leadership. He craved recognition, but called it legacy. And eventually, every false name falls apart. There will be a moment when someone asks a simple question he cannot escape. Who helped you become this person? And he will pause. Maybe he will change the subject or tell another polished story. But somewhere inside, he will remember you, not as the person he wants others to believe you were, as the person who saw him before the mask became permanent. That is why this character is not really about his collapse. It is about the truth becoming impossible to suppress. You were never meant to carry his legacy. You were never meant to disappear so he could feel important. And you were never meant to spend your life proving that your contribution mattered. The future has a strange way of exposing what the past tried to hide. And sooner or later, people notice when the story does not match the foundation. When that happens, he will finally understand what you already know. A legacy built by erasing the truth can look magnificent for a season, but eventually the truth becomes the weight that brings it down.